Hey guys, my name is Kristen. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. For today's speed build, we are in Newcrest and I am building a modern suburban house. And I do not do modern suburban houses very often, but the Sims team dropped a new update this week and they included doors and windows that just screamed modern suburban to me. So I wanted to take this opportunity to go ahead and make a modern suburban house to share with you guys. Now, keep in mind, I am not the best at modern suburban houses. I pretty much made it suburban with like modern touches. I feel like that's what modern suburban houses really are anyways. But I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Of course, if you do enjoy it in any way, then please leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Of course, I appreciate the support from each and every one of you in every single video of mine. I really do appreciate it. So if you are not aware of the update that I'm talking about, you're probably like, Kristen, I have no idea what you're talking about. There was an update. I haven't been in my game all week, so what are you talking about? So basically, the Sims team released an update including like a lot of new items. I'm trying to think of the exact number. I feel like it's something crazy like 700 plus items, but don't quote me on that. And it's definitely not 700 plus items. Maybe it is if you're counting all the swatches, but we're not counting the swatches. We're counting per individual item here. So there was a whole bunch of build buy items that they released, as well as a whole bunch of create a sim items. Okay guys, I wanted to be fair and I wanted to look it up. It's not 700, it's 70. 70 plus items is what they dropped this week, so that's really exciting. It's always so much fun getting new updates for the base game, just because the base game is so lacking and it could use a good makeover, and I feel like they are doing that makeover, and so the base game is turning out so good right now. It's making it really easy to build with just the base game. So I do think I forgot to mention that in the intro of this video. This is a base game only house. I wanted to do that because it's a base game update. I didn't want to include any of the other packs. I wanted you guys to get a good feel of the new items. And so everything I'm using here, well, not everything, I mean, for the most part, everything is pretty new. I'm sure if you guys are avid Sims players, you will be able to spot the new objects, but I'll try to mention it as we go. Of course, I already mentioned these windows and doors are new. These windows and doors, I found them a little bit hard to use. I don't know if that's just me or if other people are having the same opinion. The reason why they're so hard for me, I don't know really why. I think it's because they're just so like modern and clean looking, and I don't use objects like that very often. I use a lot of like traditional suburban style objects in my builds, but I do really like the way that these look. I think they're really like clean and crisp, and I really enjoyed this house, especially building it from like furnishing the inside. These windows are so big and clear, like you can see outside of them beautifully, and so I honestly would love to have windows like this in real life, like specifically those long ones. And the long ones were the ones that really gave me a hard time, just because they're just so long. They're almost like sim height, to be honest. They're almost floor to ceiling, and I don't do that often with my suburban house builds. I usually do the shorter windows, like the windows that are at the top. Those are the shorter ones, and I use the longer ones at the bottom. I didn't want to do that in this build. I wanted to use as many of the new items as possible, and I just pulled out that new like ship, the pirate ship jungle gym thing for the kids. I really wanted to use that, guys, but I ran out of space. That is the only thing to it. I could not use it because I ran out of space. So that was a little bit sad, but that just gives me the opportunity to do another speed build and use the pirate ship. And another disclaimer, I just want to say, a little bit ago, you probably seen me like zoom in and out really quickly, and my reshade was kind of acting funky. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. When I get too close to like the bottom of the floor in the game, like the grass and stuff, my reshade kind of like turns off, but not all the way off. Like, it's weird. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have experienced the same thing. I might need to just reinstall Reshade, like it might have had an update or something. I need to try that because that really, it's aggravating. It's not game breaking, obviously, but it is so aggravating. Oh, another new item that we actually got in this update was a sliding glass door, but for whatever reason, I did not use it. I think I pulled it out and I was going to use it, but this one just worked better for what I wanted it for. I have no idea. I don't know why I didn't use the new one. I really should have. But that does remind me that a few updates ago, we received like the sliding glass door. You know how it's like super short and it doesn't look good next to like tall windows? Well, we received one that's like ceiling height. So that was so awesome to come across in the game, guys. I totally forgot about that update until like, I don't know, like a month after, and I was just scrolling through the doors in the build by catalog and I was like, when did they add this tall sliding glass door? And it literally was like a month prior. So there was like a month there that I had no idea about it. So that was fun. But I'm so happy that they added that now because that is something that I have been wanting for so long. Every time I use that sliding glass door, like the original base game short cha-cha sliding glass door, whatever it's called, I was like, why is it so short? Like, it literally, if you place windows where they're supposed to be placed, it makes no sense. And so it's so much better that they added one that's ceiling height now. So that was awesome. And then, of course, the new one's really good, too. It's, like, really white, modern, and crisp, like the windows and this front door is. Another thing. That front door is only 50 simoleons, which means I can use it in all of my starter houses, and that is so awesome. I'm so glad that they made it so cheap. Sometimes they make things too expensive, and it's like, when am I going to be able to use that? Unless I'm doing a build that has no, like, price limit, but I do a lot of builds with price limits, and I am planning on doing more. I always start off like, okay, I'm going to have a limit of 30k simoleons, and then I reach that limit on just the exterior, and I'm like, well, I blew that out the window. I guess we're just going all in now. I use too many clutter pieces and stuff like that, and too much landscaping. And sometimes I'm too lazy to go in the debug catalog to pick out all of the free landscaping. So yeah, but it is on my radar to do like 30k builds, like some sort of limit build. I've been requested to do that in the past, and that is definitely still on my radar. And so stay tuned for that if you are interested in seeing limited builds. But we are now on the floor plan, and this floor plan, you guys will see it was a hard one for me. I don't know. Some days floor plans are like so easy. They come together so quickly. And then other days are like the day I had this day. And I'm like, what? Where do I want to put the kitchen? Where is the there is no bathroom downstairs. Now I got to redo it. And I don't know why it's important for me to have a bathroom downstairs. It just makes sense for me. It makes no sense at all to have no bathroom downstairs. You have to at least have a half bathroom. And that's like a 4x4 tile room, and so it's easy enough. But yeah, I really wanted to make this one not so many bedrooms also, and it happened to be a lot of bedrooms still. I just make large houses. I don't know why. I try not to make such large houses. Like, I'll go into a build like, okay, I'm not gonna make such a large house this time. I need to try to make this, you know, some smaller houses, some normal 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom houses, right? Yeah, well, it doesn't work out that way. I just make the exterior so big, I guess. And then once I get inside, I'm like, dang, it's a 5-bedroom house. Now I got 5 bedrooms I gotta furnish. So yeah, I've been trying to make smaller houses, and I have also been trying to make different types of floor plans, and that's another reason why I kind of struggled here, I think, because I'm really trying hard to make different floor plans and not all the same exact floor plan. Like, I'm bad about doing like the same floor plan, kind of like the same face syndrome sort of thing when it comes to create a sim. I have the same floor plan syndrome. It's a fact. I've come to realize that. So I've been really trying hard not to do the exact same floor plan. And that stems from transforming the outside of builds first. And so I have also noticed that a lot of my builds on the outside look quite similar. And so I've been trying just to broaden my horizons and make different builds, right? And so this floor plan actually is pretty different. I mean, I was going to do a garage on the inside other than just having it on the outside, but I ended up making that a bedroom instead. It just made more sense to me. And so a teenager has the bedroom downstairs, and then next to her or him, I was thinking it was a girl though, next to that teenager is a child's room. And then upstairs is mom and dad's room, a infant's room, and I think an office. I think I made the extra bedroom an office just so that they didn't have so many kids, you know? Like, I feel like every single house I do, they have like 5 kids. So trying to change it up a little bit. And then there's the living room up in the top right corner. This right here is going to be the kitchen, and there is actually 2 bathrooms downstairs, so that's good. One bathroom right now is attached to that bedroom because I was thinking that was going to be the master bedroom, but that really makes no sense. And so I end up changing the door to make that like a guest bathroom. Or like that's the bathroom that these 2 kids use, and then the one over there is the guest bathroom. Whatever, there's 2 bathrooms downstairs. It really doesn't matter if it's the guest bathroom or not, but yeah. And then I believe I have a bathroom attached to the master bedroom upstairs. So I think that this turns out to be like a 5-bedroom house with 3 bathrooms. So, I mean, it's on the larger side, but I tried to make it smaller. Do you guys prefer larger houses or smaller houses? I'm really curious. Leave a comment down below what you prefer. I tried to do a healthy mix of both because, I mean, sometimes you don't have such a large family in The Sims, right? So you want a smaller house, but then sometimes you have so many kids in The Sims and you need a larger house. So, I mean, I think it's good to have a healthy mix of both. But I am just looking over in the corner and seeing that pirate ship. I was really going to try and squeeze that there, guys. I don't think the kids would have been able to use it at all if I left it there. I ended up putting just like some monkey bars there instead, I think, which is boring. I do that all the time, but you gotta do what you gotta do. That's the only thing that would fit. But we are over into the kitchen now, and I absolutely love these new counters, guys. Look at how beautiful, especially this swatch is. It matches that wood so perfectly, like the wood flooring, it matches it perfectly. And just like the way the cabinets and the counters look, they look so crisp and clean. And then the marble countertops, it's beautiful. I love these new counters. And I'm so happy that they actually added matching upper cabinets as well. That's definitely needed. I can't stand when they add a new counter set and there's no upper cabinets that match. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. Most kitchens, they have those upper cabinets, so I just feel like they need to always provide the upper cabinets, even if they have the lower ones, you know, just in case. I mean, people don't have to use them, but they at least have the choice. And so I was very pleased to see that they did in fact have the upper cabinets. And they also added new flooring, which is not what I have down right now because it took me a while to realize that there was new flooring. But I did notice right away that there was new tile, like wall tile. And so I did use that in the kitchen. And I kept the green vibe throughout this whole entire build, which I feel like I use green all the time, so that's really no surprise. And I absolutely love this color of green. Like, it's so pretty. I think my last video, I was trying to figure out the name of this green. And I still haven't figured it out. I feel like it's like a sage green. Like, it's not quite olive. That rug there is olive green. But then the walls are a little bit lighter. And I feel like it's probably like a sage green. Either way, it's so pretty. I love this green, especially in The Sims. And for some reason, just the color green reminds me of The Sims anyways. I mean, obviously, the plumb bob is green. And their colors are kind of green, but the color green just has always reminded me of The Sims. And has always reminded me particularly of, like, Strange Town in The Sims 2, weirdly enough. Alien abduction, maybe? I have no idea. But I did finally come across the new flooring, and it's okay. I don't love the honeycomb flooring. There's something about it that I don't know. I just don't love it. It doesn't fit with the new tile that they put, like the wall tiles. They don't match with each other, in my opinion. I would have much preferred just regular square tile in here, but since I was trying to use as many of the new items as possible, I pretty much had no choice but to use this flooring. And it's not bad, so don't get me wrong, but it's really like not my first choice. And I also was going to have this kitchen also be the dining room, but I quickly realized I had no space. And so what I ended up doing instead is having like a island in the center, which I figured I wanted anyways, because it's such like, even if I had the dining table in here, I felt like there was so much extra room, and I like my houses to feel, I don't know, like cluttered, but not too cluttered, just lived in, and there's just stuff, you know, there's enough stuff. There's not any blank walls anywhere. I try not to have blank walls anyway. Sometimes you have to, in the base game, you run out of stuff, but I try not to have any blank walls if I can help it. And so, walls or just large areas of the floor. I don't love it to be blank, right? So I ended up making this room, which was going to be an extra bedroom, but I had so many, I had the space to spare, right? So I ended up making that the dining room instead, which it's not ideal to have the dining table so far from the kitchen, but at the same time, it's not too far, right? So I felt like it was still acceptable to put the dining table right there. And then I put like a breakfast nook table over in the kitchen. So there's definitely plenty of seating in this house. And then I also made sure I added a high chair. I might do that later in the build once I realize I'm going to put an infant in this house. And here is the master bathroom. So I wanted to do something a little bit different with the master bathroom. And right now I am making like a walk-in shower, but then I realized, oh, this is base game. I forgot they don't have those standalone showers. So I ended up doing away with that idea. And I am making this separate room like the toilet room. And then the actual main bathroom is right there. And what I'm doing different that I have never done in The Sims before is make no door on the bathroom. Now, I have seen so many houses in real life be like this, and I do not like it. I would like my privacy, you know what I mean? So I would never want to have a house where the master bathroom is like this, but this is The Sims. And if you're a married couple, I mean, it really doesn't matter. But I prefer to have my privacy sometimes. So even though me and my fiance are together, we share a bedroom, we will be married soon. And so if we ever buy a house, we will then be a married couple. And I still would not like a bathroom like this just because I need that privacy. But since this is The Sims and they really don't care about privacy, I decided to do something a little bit different and make kind of like a realistic master bathroom with no door. And so I put like the walls in a sort of way where you can't see straight into the bathroom, but you can see kind of in the bathroom. Like, it's hard to explain. Do you guys know what I'm talking about in regards to master bathrooms like this, where there is literally no door? I've seen so many like this. It's a thing here in Central Florida. So I don't know if this is a thing in other houses and other places, but it definitely is here. And so it's honestly kind of hard to find a house that's built in between like the 90s and the 2010s, maybe even currently. I don't know. I don't look at like brand new houses, you know. I don't have that kind of brand new house money. But the houses in between the 90s and the 2010s, they had bathrooms like this. It was like a thing. And I don't know why, but it was. I mean, it looks nice. It looks almost like fancy, and I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it does make it look fancy in there. So I give them that. But I do like my privacy. They at least have the toilets in their own room, kind of like I did in the bathroom upstairs. So there's at least that. You can, you know, go number 2 in peace. But I still sometimes just would like my peace and quiet and privacy getting out of the shower as well. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. But anyways, with all of that being said, I did want to mimic that realism. And so I did that upstairs, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm not done upstairs at all. I still have a lot that I'm going to do in that bathroom, but that is how it most likely is going to turn out. And I think it turns out pretty good. It's definitely different. And I was talking about doing different in this build. And so it definitely was different. But something that I did also is put a not a bassinet, but like a playpen sort of crib downstairs for the infant. Now, this is not new. This is something I have done before. But I did want to do it in this build. There's just like that extra space right there I didn't really know what to do with. And I like the idea of having a playpen in the living room. That is so realistic to me. And I've explained that in my past builds where I have met so many people in real life that have like their playpens in the living room just to have, you know, their baby take a nap there or hang out in there if they don't want them just crawling all over the place. And so it's really realistic to have a playpen in the living room. And so I love to do that in my Sims builds, especially now that they have cribs. So I take full advantage of that. And this particular crib looks just like a playpen to me. Like, it looks more like a playpen than like a crib. And so I love to put this particular one in the living room. Something else that is new are these new pendant lights. Now, I absolutely love these lights. We needed some just modern, simple lights like this, you know? I am so tired of using the exact same lights in all of my builds. I either use those like tiny disc lights or I use like some traditional, almost like grandma style lights. Like, that's what it reminds me of anyways. I can't remember the name of them, but I use them in a lot of my builds, so you guys probably know what I'm talking about. So I was so happy to see that these new lights were in the game, and so I have used them in every single room. Yes, every single room. That just makes sense for me anyways. I feel like in a lot of houses, they use the same light in all of their rooms. I mean, at least for the most part. The dining room might have a different light, or the kitchen might have a different light, the bathrooms might have a different light, but for the most part, I feel like a lot of houses have typically the same lights. At least my house does. But like I was saying, I do really enjoy these new lights that they put in the game. All of these new items, honestly, I really enjoy. But like I was saying, my favorite are absolutely those cabinets. I'm so excited to use those in my future builds. All of the swatches were pretty. They did also have this green color on one of the swatches, and I really wanted to use it, but I knew I wanted to use this green color for the walls, and so that was a little bit too much green. But my favorite choice, or my second favorite choice, would probably be this swatch that I used in the kitchen. We are now over into the bathrooms. I am going to be doing these two downstairs bathrooms, and they're pretty simple. I did try to make them a little bit different. Like, I have a platform in this particular one here, and I can't remember if I put a platform in the other one that's downstairs. I think I do, but I can't quite remember. I did make really good use of the platforms in this entire build, which I love to do. I think it adds an extra detail that really is appreciated, at least by me. And so I have so much fun using the platforms, and as you can see, I probably overused the platforms in this build, but I did not regret it. And here is the other bathroom, pretty much the exact same as the other one, but a few things are different. So I did a shower in the other one, and there's a bathtub in this one. And then the mirror is also different. I don't know. I don't use that mirror very often, so I took this opportunity to use it. I felt like it fit perfectly there. It was almost too perfect to not use it. I don't love the way that it looks, but sometimes I have to use things that I don't love because I don't want my builds to all look the same. So I did take this advantage, or I did take this opportunity to use that mirror. And also, I have come to realize this bathroom has giant windows in it, and it is in the front of the house. But this is The Sims, and that's fine, okay? Peeping Tom has a show if you download this house. Let me just tell you that. But yeah, if this was real life, I so would not buy this house because of those windows in that bathroom. Or I would at least have like curtains. But yeah, it is like you're giving a show to everybody. But privacy does not matter here in The Sims. And so we're back over in the kitchen. I am trying to add some curtains to these windows, and I didn't know what I was doing. That is a famous line of mine here on this channel. I do not know what I am doing, but it's true. I didn't know what curtains I wanted to use in the kitchen for these windows, but I ended up sizing down some of the blinds, like the modern looking blinds. They almost look like they're like fabric blinds, and it looked so good. I was really happy with the way that it looked, and so I ended up keeping those over in the kitchen area. And over by the breakfast nook where the table is, like the table with the 3 chairs, the really long modern curtains I ended up putting there. And I thought it looked pretty good. I don't like using just one side like I did there, but it looked good enough. I ended up keeping it, and it was really the best choice that I had. And then over on the sliding glass door, I put some of those like blinds, like the long blind curtain things. And that is something I only recently started doing on my sliding glass doors, and I thought it made it like really realistic looking. I really enjoy it, and so I have been doing it a few times. I've done it in a few builds since I recently started doing it, like, I don't know, only like a couple weeks ago, so I really enjoy doing it. You'll probably see me do it in the future. Now, if you do that in your own build, just make sure you do it on the side that doesn't have the handle on the door, because then I don't think your sim would be able to use it if it was on the side where the handle is. If you do it on the other side where they don't exit out of, you should be fine. And we are now over into the entryway, and I didn't do anything special with the entryway. I did pretty much what I normally do. I put a side table there, and then I put some mirrors behind the side table. Sometimes I will put a bench there instead. But yeah, there was none that really fit there. It was way too big and bulky to put there. And so I ended up putting a side table there with some books and like some decorations on top of that. And then over here, I usually do like those leaf paintings 3 in a row up the staircase. I do that in almost all of my builds. I really need to find a different strategy to put there. I just really enjoy putting picture frames there heading up the stairs. I think it just looks really like pretty and realistic. I just don't know what else to do there, to be honest. It definitely needs something, some sort of paintings going up the stairs, or else it just is too blank. But I did come across some new portraits of different townies in the game, and so that is really interesting. I think that came out as one of the 70 plus items in this new recent update, but I didn't see any swatches that really made sense for this particular build that I'm doing, and so I did leave that off. But I really do enjoy those portraits. I think there was like one with a family from Mount Komorebi, there's one with a family from Sulani, there's one of several townies in the game, like one of the townies that came with my wedding stories, one of the families, I think it's the Romano, no, it's not that, I don't know, I'm not even gonna pretend that I know. One of the families from my wedding stories, and yeah, I think some I don't know, some townies from the game, and I can't remember exactly each and every one of them, but definitely a lot of different ones. It was actually kind of surprising how many different swatches was on that particular portrait. And yeah, I am definitely looking forward to using that in some of my other builds. And that is really going to be fun when I end up remodeling each and every house in the base game, which is on my list to do after my New Crest series. I'm almost done with New Crest, and so it won't be much longer now before you guys are able to download that save file and use it. And that's going to be so much fun for me to see. And so after that, I am going to remodel all of like the Willow Creek houses and all of the Oasis Spring houses using only the base game. And so that portrait set is going to be so fun to use because I think Don Lothario and the Calientes was on 1 or 2 of the swatches, if I'm not mistaken. definitely a lot of the base game townies were. So that's going to be really fun to use in each of the different townies' houses using their particular portraits. So that's going to be fun. And yeah, so we are over into the spare bedroom now. So I ended up making this into like an office. I figured one of the parents here works from home a lot. And so I really wanted to make this like an office for a sim that works from home, or maybe they do social media, or they have like a YouTube channel, or whatever it may be. I tried to make it have a really good background, like they record themselves a lot, right? And they don't have any of the like the spotlight for like video cams. And so I tried to mimic that using the tri light that's there. And I don't use that light very often just because it's so awkward in getting the lighting right. But I do really like the way that it looks. So I really had fun using it in this build. But yeah, I tried to mimic, like, you know how influencers will have like a ring light in front of them? That's what I tried to mimic. So hopefully that is what it's giving. It kind of doesn't give that to me, but anyways, I figured I'd let you know what I was trying to mimic there. And then behind the computer, I just wanted to put some posters. We are really lacking on different posters in the base game, so I tried to do my best there, and I just ended up using the Plumb Bob posters or pictures in the frame, and I sized one down, tried to make it look cute, and I didn't want it to be too blank in this room, but honestly it is kind of blank. But my main focus was on the background of the computer, like the background of the chair where the person would sit. I really wanted to make it look like a nice background, kind of like realistic, you know, someone working from the house, they have their webcam on and they want a nice background. They don't want just a blank wall, right? So that's kind of where I was going with that. And here we are over into the master bedroom and the master bathroom. So earlier I told you guys that some stuff would probably change in this bathroom. Well, I don't think it does. This is pretty much what it looks like. So I have the toilet over into its own room, and then there's also a shower, and then there's also that really expensive bathtub. I think it's like 12,000 simoleons or something crazy. But it's like one of those jacuzzi bathtubs. So, I don't know, I figured this is kind of a nicer suburban house, and I never get to use this bathtub just because I don't like to use that 12,000 simoleon bathtub. I feel like it's kind of ridiculous. But, I don't know, I felt like this was a special occasion. There's new items. This is a modern suburban house, and I don't ever build modern suburban, and this is a really nice bathroom, and so I figured it made sense. And it would be so awesome to take a bath in that little cubby right there, and it would just be really cozy. And then I put the shower up on a platform, and then on the same area where the shower is, that's where you go to the toilet. And then I also put like a counter set using the new counters, of course, with a sink. Now that I'm looking back, I wish I would have put a Jack and Jill sink or a his and hers sink, but I only did one sink. So yeah, you get what you get, you don't throw a fit, right? So I only did the one sink, but I still think the bathroom turned out really cute. It's definitely different than I normally do. I don't think I have ever done a bathroom like that in The Sims, and now that I have, I don't know, I might do it more often. It was pretty fun. It looks pretty cute. What do you guys think? But we also decorated the master bedroom, and nothing really special there. I just did the double bed and then a couple of nightstands. I put a dresser in there with a TV over it. And then I also put a chess table in there. I don't do that often in my bedrooms. I actually forget about the chess tables, but I came across it in the Build By catalog, and honestly there was a space there in the bedroom that I needed to fill, so there it is. They got a chess table, which is always good to have in your Sims builds anyways, just for the logic skill in and of itself. And I just got done doing the infant's room, and that is really nothing special. That is literally what I do in all of my infants' rooms when it comes to base game. I might change the color here and there, but it's pretty similar. I'm running out of ideas when it comes to base game nurseries. I have come to realize that they have not added very much when it comes to nurseries in the base game. We need a lot more of the wall decor. The wall decor is really what's hard. There's like just a few wall decors that is meant to be in like a nursery, and so you kind of have the exact same choices every time. So I really wish they would do an update on base game for nurseries and add a lot more nursery items. They also don't have changing tables in the base game. They only have it in growing together, I guess, and so that is another thing that's not really ideal. It just makes it really hard to decorate a nursery and make it feel as cluttered as I like my houses to feel. But we are now downstairs and I am doing the child's bedroom first. And I really wanted to make this child's bedroom different too. And this is different than I have done before. I have raised a platform up to put the bed on before, but as far as like the color scheme and the decorations and like the bedspread and stuff goes, I haven't done this combination before. This is a combination of like pink, blue, and green, and actually I think it looks pretty good together. And the walls I have stuck with white and green, and then I have added a bed that has like pink and blue flowers on there. Well, it's like a blue comforter set and then like pink flowers with like green leaves. It's like a touch of green. And I thought the colors complemented each other really well, actually. And I have also added a creativity table in here, and that is right here next to the bed. And I'm right now trying to add a stuffed animal on top of the bed. I just thought it was kind of a cute touch to add a stuffed animal on top of the bed, since this is the child's bedroom. It was kind of realistic to me, and I am now realizing that I forgot to put a nightlight in here. So if you play in this house, then definitely make sure you put that nightlight in the kids' room, or else they're going to be having nightmares. Even though I think that is only a parenthood thing, right? So maybe if you only have base game, you won't have that problem, but then again, is it only in base game? I don't know. I don't typically play the actual gameplay with just base game. I feel like that would be a little on the boring side. I definitely take advantage of all the packs that I have. So I can't remember if the nightmares and like the monster under the bed is part of Parenthood or if that's part of base game. So definitely if it is part of base game, make sure you add that nightlight so your child sims aren't waking up in the middle of the night. But I am also adding some other like decorations around the room. I added that same Plum Bob poster on top of the dresser here that I added upstairs in the office. And I'm also adding some like lights up on the walls. I came across these. These are part of that holiday pack, so that is free as well. So that's basically base game. And then I also put a corkboard up there above the bed and the calendar decorations. Over on the other wall, yeah, I struggled over there. I almost put those like trees, but I do the trees so much that I didn't want to do that again. And so I settled for that picture of the void critter, that's what it's called. It's basically the Pokemon in The Sims. So I ended up settling for that picture instead. Not really ideal. It's not what I would have chosen to put there, but it made sense. It's a child's room and it looked good enough. And then I also put mirrors in there kind of on a slant going up and down those steps that are there. And I really enjoyed that child's room. I think that child's room is so cute. And I am pretty sure only children's Sims are able to go up onto where the bed is. But then again, adult Sims might be able to go up there as well. Because this is the taller wall height, I think it adds more space. Typically, if you have the floor too close to the ceiling, the adult Sims are not able to go up there. And I do that sometimes in my child's room. I feel like it kind of adds like a cute storyline sort of thing to where like only the adult or only the children are able to go up there, and it's like a space where no adults are allowed sort of thing. But we are now over to the teenager's room, and we are pretty much almost done already in here. It's pretty simple. I figured this teenager was really into the modern look, the really clean, uncluttered modern look. And she's also really into sports, and so I put a treadmill in there, and I also put the little light that has the soccer ball on there. And then I put some sports posters, and that's pretty much it. And then I put a computer and a computer desk in there as well. And yeah, just a simple teens room that is really into like athleticism and also chatting online with their friends. So yeah. We also added some final decorations to the kitchen, and I also added that high chair that I told you guys about, and we are now outside and finishing up the outside. So right here I am trying to figure out the pavement up to the front door, and as you can see, I could not decide exactly how I wanted to lay out this pavement. It was just not making sense with the way that I have the driveway on the right side of the build, and then the door over on the left side of the build, and then on the left side of that I have a gate. And so the pavement, I just did not know how I wanted to lay it out. Nothing was really looking right to me. But what I ultimately decided to do was just to use the basic Suburban white not tile, but the sidewalk, you know, the square sidewalk. I ended up using that to the front door, and then I also put it out here by the pool. And then I decided just to use terrain paint to make some sort of pathing to the backyard. It's not my favorite pathing that I've done before, but I do really enjoy making pathways to the backyard. I feel like it adds a realistic touch, and it makes sense instead of there just being grass that there's some sort of paving to lead your sim back there. And it also fills up space, you know, you might have a lot of extra space. And so filling it up is always welcome, you know. And then I also end up adding some monkey bars out here, and of course the pool that is there. And that is pretty much the backyard. And then I have trees everywhere too. I even have a tree covering some of the windows in the living room. I don't know why. It doesn't make really any sense. I guess it could be realistic. I was going to say it's not realistic, but really, honestly, it could be. I've seen windows all the time that is like smack dab in front of a tree, so whatever. But I did put trees everywhere on this lot. I tend to over tree a lot, to be honest. I just love the way that trees look. It adds a realistic touch. It takes up space, and I was just telling you about how it's always welcome to have some space filler. And then I have a pool, of course, and I added some like blue tile inside of the pool. And that kind of gives the look of that get-together pool swatch, how it's all sparkly and stuff. Well, it's part of get-together, it's not base game, and that's like my favorite pool swatch there is. And so something I do often is just adding some like nice blue tile in there in replace of that sparkling pool swatch. But yeah, guys, this is pretty much the build. I am just doing some last minute touches. I am adding some chairs on the patio and all of that good stuff. So with all of that being said, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Of course, if you did, please leave a like on this video and subscribe if you have not already. I hope you all have an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all in the next one very soon. Bye, guys.